Australia's senior marine secret has been allowed, told Australia's Secretary for Defence Maurice Payne. The King Australia Navy sub HMAS AE-1, that was transport 35 team members of Australia, Britain and New Zealand, sank close Rabaul on the Isle of New Britain on September 14, 1914. Planet War I had started fair a few weeks over and the extinction noted the nations at first losing in the dispute. While the AE-1 went lacking in 1914 it had a deep effect on our youthful nationality, he told. Currently we can correctly grieve the deaths of such men who serviced in AE-1, and mark their victim in a significant and fit path. Next the opening, such on executive board the examination ship how found it detained a little memorable facility to recall such who lose their lives. Efforts are creature done to discover any descendants of the sub's team members. Unusually so canned and mission set out over the 1 week to searching the water closed the Grand Duke of York Isle team in Papua New Guinea. The crew of marine surveyors, sea archaeologists and marine historians utilized a much beam echoing sonar and party scan technique in an submarine hum flyer 40 meters over the sea floor to prowl the region. On to Defense Secretary Payne, though was the 13th period a crew had set out to searching for the lacking sub. Searches in the deceased 1970s and 1980s were failed, as were more than latter efforts spearheaded by John Incourage, a captain in the Australia Navy, who consumable his resignation inquiring for AE-1 but dead in 2010. Searching teams are frequently work through a really big region and in really profound water supply, he explainable. Down there are hundreds and hundreds of submarines, on the lower of the sea, McCartney told. They are usually opportunity finds. The at first flicker of expect the 1 week came while the searching ship Fugros Equator identified an subject of concern 300 meters under the shallow. Following making a three-dimensional transfer of the subject, the crew omitted a chamber to prove the discover. Gloomy event the reason of the dive is not yet named. Time several trust the ship could include affected a reeve time driving in impoverished appearance, other believe it was loose in a experience plunge. On to McCartney, down there is a really nice opportunity how archaeologists will be capable to resolve the secret by student the external surfaces of the accident. These submarines, that were intended and constructed in Britain, were success and they were safe, told McCartney. Yet submarining is essentially hazardous and submarines hadn't been about how length. The war was there at first large testing. Mark Sander, CEO of the Sub-Institution of Australia, SIA, one of the organisations implicated in the searching, outlined the opening as both of a satisfactory and gloomy event. A quantity of groups were implicated in the mission in the SIA, consisting the Australia Domestic Marine Museum, the Silent World Basis, Fugros Examination and the Papua New Guinea by the government as so as the Australia King Navy.